Oh, hey Tom.
Old
How's it going?
Jerry, what's going on? Um, I don't know. I was wondering if you. It looks like you're in an. Are you in an auto shop?
I'm in the auto shop where I work.
Okay.
It's by the warehouse.
Yeah, the warehouse that you had. Um, and I didn't know if you were
It's where I work.
right where you've replaced transmissions and fixed cars and stuff like
We
that.
do everything. We do
Yeah,
everything.
like balance tires,
Yeah. Well,
wash wind.
I don't do that.
Okay,
But yeah,
replace
somebody does.
replace windshields and
I don't do much actually.
that's good. That sounds like you have a good job.
Like today I had to go to my physical therapy appointment and I got needles put in my back.
That's awesome to help fix your penis.
No, 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 it's for my neck, my
Oh,
back,
okay.
my shoulders, all upper body stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's it feeling?
Yeah, it wasn't. It's good. It helps.
Yeah,
It helps a lot. Yeah.
they just stick needles in there, and then it's like you walk out there. It's like, God damn, that feels good.
Yeah.
What have you been
Yeah.
What have you been wanting to argue about?
Actually, I was thinking about your song, and
Yeah,
I was thinking I said that I would write a song,
right.
and I'm you set the bar pretty high. It's not easy to like you really hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
But I need to stand up for myself on the one hand,
Okay.
and have a rebuttal, but in a respectable way. And I just thought that maybe we could use a little. I wanted to keep it clean, so I thought I would use the Bible for inspiration.
Yeah, for the kids.
Not for the kids, but
Okay.
just, for us,
For better,
for
it's more respectable kind of entertainment if you can keep it clean, like Jerry
just
Lewis.
I don't think we don't have a little Bible in your life isn't a bad thing, you know?
Okay, man, preach to me.
So, well, I'm
Preach,
not trying to preach, but I just thought
preach
it'd
to
be,
me.
inspiring and a
Yep.
way to kind of keep it kind of clean. But I
Okay.
don't know how this mix is going to work with these, like how's this test? Test, 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 test.
I can hear your guitar and I can hear your voice,
You can?
and they're in good balance.
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, it's
Let's
like
do it.
one, two,
Take
one, two,
one.
three, two, three,
Take
one, two,
two.
three, four. Jerry is good, he eats manna from heaven. Jerry's like an angel from heaven. Je- Jerry's nice and he loves life. Tom's an anti-Semite, sodomite. Tom is a dirtbag. He eats castor oil and trash. Tom is a cancer on society. He worries too much about me eating bees. Look out. Yeah, some, like maybe a guitar solo or like
Yeah.
maybe like a Jethro Tull flute right
Yeah.
there or
Yeah.
something.
Some jazz flute.
I don't know. What do you think? I just thought if we kept it somewhat biblical, it wouldn't get too out of control.
Well, I was working on
Oh,
a
okay.
different
As
version
soon as
of a theme
unbelievable.
song. Now that we have, last I looked, we had 93,000 subscribers, I believe. So I
It's
thought it might be
growing.
good to maybe rework the theme song. This T is for Tom. He's a cool cat, the kind of cool cat that you let in the house. J is for Jerry. He's a fat old mouse. You don't let a fat old mouse in the house. When Tom and Jerry get together, they like to argue about the weather. They like to argue about the Pope. They like to argue about different kinds of rope. They like to argue about the best kind of rope for a lasso, the best kind of rope to hang a hobo, the best kind of rope to hang a horse thief, the best kind of rope to save the coral leaf. So let's get together for arguing with Tom and Jerry. It's time to
He
get
said,
together for some arguing. Some arguing with Tom
Tom and
and
Jerry.
Jerry. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's what I was working on for a new theme song.
That's nice. That's a lot better than what I just did, I think.
I think it probably has to do with the fact that you were relying on the Bible for the lyrical content. I don't know. I'm just
Well, I just
guessing.
thought use some Bible words and
Yeah.
it would maybe, I don't know.
Well, so last weekend I was in the dog store. And I don't know when the last time you went to the dog store was, but it
You
seemed
were in
like
the doghouse? Your wife put you in the doghouse?
no, I was in the store where they sell dogs.
Oh,
And I was noticing it's like, it seems like most of these dogs are smaller than the dogs that I'm kind of used to. Like I'm used to having a good
used
sized
to big
dog,
dogs,
like
big
maybe a
dogs.
big dog, maybe, I mean, I don't know. Um, and I was wondering why it is that the dogs were so much smaller, and I was wondering if it might have to do with the fact um, that now that as human beings we're walking on two legs, maybe we're more comfortable with having like dogs that are bigger than back in the day when human beings walked on four legs. They might have wanted
No,
some.
you're bringing up a really interesting topic because I was just literally tonight asking my daughter if you had, and I'll ask you this, if you had the opportunity to accept the offer of being domesticated, would you do it?
It kind of sounds like passive slavery to me, which
That's what she went to slavery. And I was like, what? I said, is my cat a slave? No, my cat's living the life, living the dream. And wouldn't you want that for yourself? But there's a caveat. You don't get to pick your owner,
that's right.
or the country where you don't get to pick any of the details. So it's a bit of a gamble. Most, you could hit the jackpot and be like my cats and just have, a house to just run around in, toys and, you know,
Yeah,
love, love,
right.
or you could get abused.
You might not like the food that they serve you, but if you're agreeing to some sort of living construct of passive slavery, then you just kind of take the food that they give you because it's kind of part of the agreement.
I guess I was a lot more optimistic about the whole prospect than you guys.
Well, it reminds me that the other day I was listening to one of the presidential candidates, and he's saying, "Hey, the Civil War could have just been negotiated." And I was like wondering about like how and what would we have been negotiating about? And I was thinking maybe the negotiation would have been, if they agree to the slavery, then we're going to go ahead and let you have the slavery. But if they don't want to participate in the slavery, they being the slaves, then they're free to go and do what they want.
So the negotiation would have been with the slaves.
Or maybe with the slave holders, because I mean you can't trust the slaves to have negotiations with. They
They're
couldn't
not, yeah, they're not going to be impartial.
they couldn't well and they couldn't read or write. So you might have been like, you could have talked about things and said, yeah, that sound that, and they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And then you
I'll
wrote
sign
it
for
down on the
you.
piece of paper, and and it's like, okay, now sign it. And they're like,
Right,
they sign their signature, and then a few years later it's like, yeah, well, you signed it, you know
right.
right? Yeah. But
That doesn't
anyway,
seem fair.
it I mean it once again, I'm just kind of trying to think of the different
The
ways
spitballing.
that the Civil War might have been negotiated rather than fought, and that was the one thing that I was able to come up with. It's like maybe we could have negotiated. Like some of the people, maybe they're like, yeah, we like being the slaves, and we're going to go ahead and decide to continue being slaves. And the slave owners are like, yeah, that's great, and we're going to keep being able to
That's
pick
what we want to hear.
cotton, and yeah, that's what we want to hear. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we wanted to hear, and that's what we thought would happen. You know, we thought that they would go ahead and agree to continue being
Do you think
slaves.
that the owners in the South were shocked? They were surprised. They were like,
Where'd they
we
go?
treated you so
Where
well,
where'd they
but we
go?
were treating you so well.
Yeah, where'd everybody go?
Freedom's overrated.
Right.
You got everything. So I see
You
what you're
have
saying. Yeah,
food and
about being
toys
domesticated.
and you know a place to stay, all the best toys, all the best
Things to climb around on, like my
things.
cat's like a cat
Right,
tree,
right, right. Exactly. So I don't know.
everything provided, three
Yeah, you
hots
don't
and
have
a
to worry
cot,
about anything. You get up every
an
day and
open air prison.
it is kind of like prison. You know exactly what today is going to be. There's not going to be any surprises unless like when I was in prison, they're you know, maybe once in a while it'd be like, oh yeah, you know, like you know, somebody in the lunchroom like maybe puts a shiv
A shiv.
in or
Everybody
maybe
gets shivved.
everybody gets shivved in prison.
Yeah, it's just part of comes with the territory.
It does. I mean, everybody I know who's been there has a scar. It's like, yeah, I was out lifting some weights and Jerry from the Aryan Brotherhood, you know, like stuck a shiv in my neck.
You ain't lived until you've been shivved,
That's right.
if you're in prison. Yeah,
That
it's
that's
part
what
of
they
it.
say, and a lot of them have tattoos like to that say that, like you ain't lived till you've been shivved.
Yeah,
And then I think
exactly.
they put little like teardrop tattoos on their eyes for every time they get shivved.
That's what I always wondered what that was for.
That's
That's
what
for
that's for.
shivvings,
Yeah, yeah. That's
numbers of shivvings.
yeah, numbers of
Hmm.
shivvings. Yeah. I don't know. What else did you want to argue about?
I don't know. I had a couple. Well, so I found some old Havarti cheese at work.
Oh, that's too bad.
Actually, no, it
It's
expired
really
and
good now.
well, I don't know what it would have tasted like before it expired, but it tastes fine. I've been eating it for weeks. It expired in August, and here we are mid-January, and no one else will touch it, but there's nothing wrong with it. I eat a slice or two every day. It's almost gone. But then I thought, I don't even know if I should bring this up because it sounds like it might be like a Charlie Day bit or something, from that show.
I'm not real like
Isn't he always eating cheese?
or he's just doing weird shit.
But
Like,
it's true though. I mean, and I just think it's weird that it expired that long ago and it's fine.
well, you
Something
think
about
it
white cheese. I think it's because it's white cheese.
maybe it's because it's white instead of yellow.
Yeah,
You can trust the things that are white more than you can trust the things that are yellow.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Um,
I'm
I
just
just know
talking
that
about
I've
food,
had
man.
yellow. Yeah, I've had yellow cheese that has all of a sudden it's got mold spots on it, and my
You just
kids
cut
don't
them
like
off.
it, but I cut them off.
You just cut them off
But
and you
my
keep them.
kids hate that. They hate that I do that.
Well, you don't tell them about it.
Well, I know, but they see it happen.
They see you doing it.
I told them because I was kind of proud of it. Look how much money
Right,
I'm saving,
right. Look how much food that I've saved.
Not everyone thinks that being extremely frugal is cool, you
Right.
know.
It's
Some
not
people
look
think it's tacky.
it's not looked at as like some sort of something to like hang your hat on.
I value it.
You value frugality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smart. Why would you throw
Um,
your money away?
I don't necessarily believe in the use by or expiration dates. So we might be agreeing on this. But
Exactly. You think
but
it's a conspiracy?
well, I think maybe there's a narrative and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really fit into the narrative. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how much technology do you need? Do you need to know when your food isn't best used by, or is it good enough that you just have some food?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you able to think anymore for
Right,
yourself?
right. You can't look and smell it
Yeah.
and decide whether or not it's good enough to eat.
What if you made it yourself on your own farm? Would
Right,
you have expiration dates and hold to those and just throw out tons of work and effort,
right.
labor?
So
Animals could have died for those products, and you're
if
just
I'm
going to throw it out.
farming my own eggs and making my own cheese and making my own cider, then do I put a use by date on it?
Maybe something for like a guide, but you wouldn't have to hold to it. That'd be
It
silly to hold to it.
I think it'd be the opposite. You wouldn't put a use by date. You'd put a made date. You'd say I made it on this date, and then you'd make a value judgment on like okay, we made this 5 months ago, I think it's okay.
That's true. If you do it that way, then you can start to see how far you can push it.
Correct.
Because then you'd be like, we used to think it could only last for 5 months, but here we are 9 months in, and it's a little funky, but it still works.
I think that's a better way to say, let's put the made by date on things instead of the use by date,
Much
and then
smarter.
you can evaluate it for yourself.
But here we go again. Now if you did that in like normal society, you're just assuming people know how to do math.
That's right.
And in our culture these days, you can't assume anything.
Kids these days.
Right.
So when humans did walk on four legs, that's probably like biblical times, I guess. If I were to like put a name on it.
You think when Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, he was on four legs? You think they were all on four legs?
Well, at some point we were. And, it's been 2,000 years or whatever it is since the human.
This is interesting. You're reminding me of our pyramid podcast when we talked about the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the cavemen built the pyramids,
mm-hmm.
and the Kaiser was ordering them around?
Yeah.
Was everyone on four legs, or was the Kaiser on four legs too, or was he standing upright like one of the pigs in
like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, like where Tom's on two legs walking around and Jerry
Animal Farm,
like
one of the pigs in Animal Farm. All of a sudden they start walking upright and they're all self-righteous and proud. Maybe the Kaiser was like that, but he figured it out, but all the cavemen were still on all fours.
Right, which would make sense for their ability to climb up the pyramid and drag the hand sculpted like mud bricks.
He could work twice as fast.
Right. I don't know.
And they had precision. Back to those joints again. Four-legged cavemen were precise with their joints. But I don't want to beat a dead horse.
I saw on a news feed kind of thing that people are making and selling hair sweaters, and I was like,
whose hair?
It's a hair sweater, and I had always thought that a hair sweater was some sort of sign of like an ascetic kind of like you're deferring.
Oh yeah, you're kind of punishing yourself a little bit, being uncomfortable on purpose.
Exactly, but these hair sweaters are like made to be really comfortable. They're fashion statements.
Well, it's a modern era.
Right. It's not like the John the Baptist, like when
people didn't use conditioner back then. People use conditioner now.
Okay, maybe that's the difference, is that when they're making the hair sweaters back when John the Baptist was wearing them, then the hair wasn't very well conditioned.
Yeah, they weren't luxury hair sweaters back then. They were kind of crude.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I was just confused because I was like, I thought the hair sweater was some sort of symbol of like depriving yourself of the kinds of sensory joys or whatever it might be. I read even at some point that when they used to wear hair sweaters, which would also not just be a hair sweater, it might be an undergarment, like an undergarment, and they put twigs and wires in them to make them even more uncomfortable.
Do you think that they came up with those ideas on their own to punish themselves and suffer? Or do you think somebody planted those ideas in their head?
Like, hey, John the Baptist, I think it might be a good idea if you made an undergarment of human hair and put some twigs and wires in there to poke you and irritate you.
And mass produce these things, because we got a lot of followers who need to toe the line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was a weird turn of events that now all of a sudden you can go on the World Wide Web and buy a hair sweater, and I was like, that's a cool thing, and it's really comfortable. And there was a midget that was walking around in your garage. I just noticed.
Yeah,
he just popped in and out.
I'll be in a minute. I think I got to go.
That's okay. I understand.
People got to eat, you know.
Yes, yes, we all
Well,
have to
I'm
do.
sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get to, you know, pile on to what you were saying there.
Well, I wanted to just take one moment to say that our good sponsor, the state of Texas, had asked that
Greg Abbott is at it again.
we update their message that not only is Texas America's shithole, they're America's #1 shithole, and they provided this logo here at the bottom, which with
I
a
don't.
proof demonstrating who's #1.
Who's number two? Louisiana? What is that?
Well, I think
Florida?
that's Florida. That's the Panhandle thing there.
Oh, okay.
That's the drawing that Governor Greg Abbott provided me. I'm not. But I'm just taking a stab
You
at
are
thinking that that was what.
you're. I get it. I mean, you're way more plugged in to current political climate and stuff
It's
than
not
I
me.
am. Obviously,
It's not me. I'm just it's
I
just
thought Texas and Florida were great places to go to live. I thought people loved to live there.
they I think they do love living there.
I mean,
And
Joe Rogan moved to Austin on purpose.
hopefully they keep on.
Ben Shapiro moved to Florida
Hopefully they
from
keep on
LA.
living there. Just keep on living there and enjoy it.
Well, again, I gotta stand up for my Texas people that I love. Like
T
I
is
said,
for Texas.
I've never met a Texan I didn't like. That is a
Um,
fact.
have you ever met a Californian you didn't like?
Well, I haven't spent as much time in California.
Okay, well, let's just not rush to judgment here.
I I don't think I'm rushing to judgment. I
Oh,
don't
I'm
have
not
any
either.
signs.
All I'm saying is that I wanted to thank our sponsors, and the state of Texas asked that we update their message, and that's all I was doing. And I don't
I mean,
I
if they asked you, then I guess you're doing their will. So
yeah, that's what they asked me to do, and there's the Bowie knife and the Alamo and the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and oil
they
and
still dress the same, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I was noticing that like a couple weeks ago. They still wear the same exact stuff.
yeah,
Same old, same old.
yeah. It's like some tassels. Like
I don't remember if they had. No, maybe it's not the same. Maybe they did used to wear tassels. I guess I didn't pay that close of attention.
they used to like wear some like cowboy hats or cowgirl hats. They'd like be wearing
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
maybe like
They look the same.
that kind of thing. Like, let's go, Danny White, throw a touchdown pass.
He was impossible to figure out because he might just like it could be 2nd and 3, and he might just freaking punt it.
Mm-hmm. Because he was not only a quarterback but a punter.
Yeah, you never knew.
And then
It could be a punt on any play.
And then his brother Randy White was also on the team.
Yeah,
And
I
so you
remember.
never know
I
what
remember
he's going to
both of
do
them.
either. Like, what's he going to do?
Right.
Like they
Yeah,
might
because
have
he's
some
big, unpredictable guy.
yeah.
Right.
Hey, I just want to remind everyone again to subscribe to Arguing with Tom and Jerry.
Well, that would be nice. No, they should smash the like button.
Smash the like button, everybody.
Just like behead the like button.
Do it.
Bury the like button alive.
That's right. Treat it like the Texans treat the immigrants. Just smash that shit, What? Put it
Outro?
on it. Put the like button on a bus and send it to
Outro.
Chicago.
Outro.
They like to argue about the weather. They like to argue about the Pope. They like to argue about different kinds of rope. They like to argue about the best kind of rope for a lasso, the best kind of rope to hang a hobo, the best kind of rope to hang a horse thief, the best kind of rope to save the coral leaf. So let's get together for arguing with Tom and Jerry. It's time to get together for some arguing with Tom and Jerry.